Hey, hello everyone. I'm Miss Brown for those people who are not in my section, and today I wanted to go through your first Google Sheets assignment and kind of teach you things as we go. There's going to be several parts to this assignment, split up into different videos. In between each video, you are going to work inside your own assignment and complete some different tasks. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is just some formatting in Google Sheets. It's really important to format large data sets so that it is well presented to the reader so that you can find stuff easily and all of those things. What I've done already is I've actually frozen these first two rows. So this row and this row are frozen. And what I mean by that is if I scroll down, you'll see my row numbers changing here, but 1 and 2 don't change. And how I've done that is, start it up here like this, you will see that there are kind of some darker gray lines here. And I currently have a hand as my cursor. If I click and hold, the hand goes into a fist, and then I can just drag that line down to wherever I want to freeze to. So I want to freeze there. I can also freeze sideways if I wanted to, but I don't need to for this. Okay, next thing, in order to organize data, it's always nice to have everything centered. So I can select on a letter, and it will select an entire column. I can select on a number, and it will select an entire row. If I want to select everything in the entire sheet, I'm going to select this top left corner. And I'm just going to center everything. And everything I create later on is going to be centered. Anytime I have data, I want to make that into a table, so I'm going to add some borders. So I'm just going to select all of my information. So I just clicked and dragged, holding the click. And then I'm going to go up here to borders, and I'm just going to put borders everywhere. There we go. I also like my headings to stand out, so I'm going to pick a consistent, tidy color scheme. So I'm going to go with Lucas Blue as my theme. You're going to want to pick one color and stick with one color. You're not going to want to pick overly bright colors, because then you don't have good contrast. So what I like to do is pick actually a dark color for my overall heading, and then to make the contrast really good with the letters, I'm going to change my font to white. Okay, if you have a pale colored background, you're going to want to leave your font as black. So now that looks very nice. Okay, so that's the formatting. Actually, a couple other things, to format. If I want to make any rows or columns larger, so if I want to make, you can see column A is actually already a little bit bigger than column B, and that's because this maybe wouldn't fit. So if I want to make it even wider, when I move my cursor over, see how it changes and that blue line comes up? I can just click and drag again to make that as big as I want. Okay, let's say I don't want it very big though. So I want it like this small. But now you can see that grade 9 gifted doesn't quite fit. If I want it to go on 2 lines, I'm going to make it wrap around. So okay, how can I wrap it around? I'm going to go along my ribbon at the top. This is where all your different formatty type stuff is. I'm going to go here. And that says text wrapping. So if I select on that, here are the different options. So this one just keeps going left to right and overflows into the next cell. And if there's nothing there, you can read it. But if there's something in that next cell, it gets hidden behind it. Like right now, I can't see the D because it's hidden behind the grade 9 academic. And then this next one's called wrap. And you can see it's kind of got a little arrow that says around. That's what I want. So if I click on that, now I can read both of those things. Okay? And now the numbers aren't in this really long, wide thing. So I actually kind of like that. I'm going to do the same thing for B. I'm going to go wrap. But I definitely don't like the actual word wrap, so it needs to be a little bigger. Okay, so that's nice. The video instructions, we don't actually need that. I'm just going to delete that. Alrighty. So that's the formatting idea. There are some other things in there you can play with as well. Next, what I want to do is I want to actually start calculating some statistics. And by I want to calculate some statistics, what I mean by that is actually I want the spreadsheet to calculate the statistics. What's nice about having the spreadsheet do it is if I change the data, everything automatically updates, which is amazing. All right, so I'm going to calculate my measures of central tendency. You can see that doesn't quite fit. I'm going to take up 2, and I'm going to merge those 2 cells together. So I'm just going to go merge. That's what this is. There we go. I'm going to format this similar to this. If I want to format it similar to something, I can just go and format it if I want, or I can do the paintbrush which is awesome. Paintbrush is in Microsoft Word and all of those things as well. So if I go paint, what it's going to do is it's going to copy that, and then I'm just going to click on that, and it's going to paint that formatting. So that is awesome. Okay, so the measures of central tendency are mean, median, and mode. Those are your 3 averages. Central tendency, fancy name for average. All right, so if I want to calculate the mean, I want to put my numbers in here. So anytime I want a spreadsheet to do the math for me, I'm going to tell it I want it to calculate something. So I'm going to tell it that by pressing equals to start. So equals tells it to start calculating. What do I want it to calculate? I want it to calculate the mean. So I'm going to say, all right, what if I just tell it to do the mean? Well, as I was typing, it gave me a suggestion, said median. No, I don't want median. I want mean. Nothing comes up for mean. If nothing pops up, that means it doesn't have that function. Okay, so we can try and guess some other things. Well, mean, what's the other common word that we use for mean? It's just average. Even though technically all 3 are averages, generally people are talking about the mean. So I'm going to go average, and then I'm going to just click on it, and then it's going to give me some more hints about what to do. If that doesn't come up, so if I close that out, you'll see on the left here there's a question mark. That's the help. That brings it back up, so it tells you what to do. So this is example. Average, bracket, and then there's a range. A range of numbers, or range of cells, is separated by a colon in the middle. Okay, so that's saying A2 to A100. So the A2 cell is A2 to A100 will be down low. And you can press comma and you can add more ranges or more values as well. So the range that I want, I can type it in. I want it to go from A3 to A61. Now I happen to remember that it was 61. But what if I didn't remember? What if I just wanted to scroll down? I don't have to type that in. Well, I'm lazy, I don't want to figure it out. I can just select it. So I'm right after the bracket. I'm just going to select on A3. And I'm just going to, again, holding my click down all the way down till I get to there. And then I can close my bracket and press enter. Now it has filled in that particular measure of central tendency. Now, I don't care about all those decimal places. So I'm going to format that so it shows me less decimal places. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to round to in this class. I want you guys to think for yourselves what makes sense. Do I care that the grade 9 gifted average has a 1 at the end in this particular decimal place? It can give me more decimal places if I wanted to, but that's what it's giving me. Do I care that the 10,000th decimal place is 7? No. Maybe I care it's the nearest 10th. So I'm just going to go up here. This is how I adjust my number of decimal places. I'm just going to go decrease to the nearest 10th. I can go whole number too, whatever you think is good. All right, median. If you remember, median actually had an option. Sweet. Okay. Start my bracket. Again, I want to do the exact same thing. So I can click, or again, I remember that it was to A61. So A2 to A61. Notice that it it's A3 to A61. Notice that it highlights everything in orange, and this is in orange text. It really tries to color code that stuff for you to make sure that you're referencing the right places. So I press equals. Mode. Okay, let's check if mode is there. Most commonly occurring data set. Awesome, mode is there. A3 to A61. Awesome. Format that table up a little bit. This is like a subheading, so I'm going to just make that a lighter blue color. And I'm going to put my borders. Okay, now I'm going to make one more table where I'm going to calculate my measures of spread. So what I did there was I just highlighted it and copied it. That way it's all formatted the same. So I'm going to call this measures of spread. So far, the only measure of spread you guys know about is range. But we're going to look at 2 other ones as we go through the course. So I'm just going to write the labels here. We're not going to calculate them right now. One is called IQR, and one is called standard deviation. We will get to both of those. Eventually, I'm just going to press standard dev, just then it fits a little bit better. And I'm just going to leave those 2 cells blank, because we haven't learned that yet. We'll learn them in the last cycle of the course. Okay, so range equals range. It brings up binomial distribution. No, we don't want probability. We want a range. So it doesn't have a function for range. Alrighty. What is range? Range is my highest number minus my lowest number. So my max, can it do max? It can do max. Okay, so maximum value of a data set. Okay, I want to find the max from A3 to A61. Again, I'm putting a colon in between. You could just select. Okay, so my max was 98. Oh, I didn't want my max, I want my range. Okay, back to it. So what I'm going to do is I want to do the max minus the min. So I'm just going to do minus. I'm going to put a subtract sign just beside the 0 there. Let's see if there's a minimum in here. There is a minimum. Awesome. A3 to A61. Close my bracket. Notice how, again, above here, it tells you what number you're actually going to get, which is interesting, which is nice. Okay, close that out, press enter. There's my range. All right, now, again, I told you the reason that doing stuff in a spreadsheet software is because you can actually change your values and everything will change. So if I change this 94 to, let's go drastic, let's just change it to an 8. All of these values changed. All the values that should change, changed. Okay, let's put it back to 94. All right, last thing that I want to do, actually I'm going to pause here. That's going to be part 1 of the video. What I want you guys to do is do the exact same thing for the grade 9 academic, and then watch part 2 of the video.